So today we're going to be doing a how-to video and we're going to learn how to de-fillet a piece of smoked fish. Now this particular piece of smoked fish is smoked trout. It's sourced from a local supplier from Canberra, Cypress Valley. She's very much a food hero for Stockman's daughter, and she'll be coming on later in the coming week. So tools I've got here, I've got a presenting board. This is our presenting board here, and I've also got a spare board in the background, because once you actually open this vacuum sealed plastic, it'll be quite messy. It'll be a little bit oily, but you just need a surface to actually work on. I've got a spatula, always comes in handy. I've got just a simple butter knife just to get in the cracks and crevices, and I've also got a paring or small sharp knife. Okay, so to begin with, we've cut off the end of this, and it means that some of the air has gotten into the vacuum pack. So now just take the whole piece of fish out. Now any kind of smoked fish will go really well with citrusy flavours, so of course seafood with lemons, lime. You can eat this literally as is if you're really greedy, but it's wonderful to also use as a main ingredient in other recipes such as a smoked trout risotto, and also a different kind of twist on a traditional dish of Caesar salad. Instead of chicken, you can replace it with the smoked trout. As long as the bacon goes into the dish, then it just gives it a wonderful flavour. During the smoking process, this makes it quite oily, so don't be unsurprised that I've just gently, lightly handled the fish, and as you can see, my fingers are really oily and sticky, but that's what it should be doing. So what we're going to do today, this is on both sides, so we're going to cut off the head, run our knife down the backbone of the fish, make a slight incision here, peel the skin away, and then we can reduce the meat underneath the skin. Swing this around so that you guys can see it. Now I leave it just intact, so not cut all the way through, and you'll see why very shortly. And this is why a small paring knife comes in handy. And as you can see, little bits of bone come out, so you have to be very careful. Make a slight incision into the tail. I really get into this with my fingers, but if you're a little more delicate, you can use a spatula just to separate the two layers of the fish. So if I was using a spatula, I'd be inserting it between the two cavities, see there? And see how it's starting to flex away? So I just peel back the skin, and see, as you can see here, it's beautifully smoked. And to make sure that you get every single little bit out of it, because it literally is that good. See, we've made that incision on the backbone, so it just be able to, that we can peel back the skin, but it separates the two different layers. Just gently pull it back, and you'll feel it separating. As you can see, it's quite easy to come apart. Now I disregard this skin just onto an oncoming plate beside you, just so that you can get it out. A wonderfully smoked bit of fish. Now, as I said before, I get quite involved with my own hands, but if you were to use a spatula, you just simply put the spatula where we made the cut, and you can feel the bones. So that sitting there is onto the fish tail, and the bones just underneath it. So then you can just literally slide your spatula, bringing away the meat there. See how that's done? But I also like to get into my hands, and because then I can break it up into smaller pieces as well. Now that's what it looks like. See that beautiful pink colour there? That's what smoked fish should actually look like. So now I'm just going to place this out onto a serving board. You can break it up, and you can go along as you do. Now see this kind of yicky, ucky kind of ness right there? That's actually the fat layers in the fish, and when smoking it, the fat layers become really gluggy, and almost like that. Don't be afraid of that. That is just fat from the fish that's been smoked. It's harmless, and if you can find enough courage to actually try and taste it, it's as wonderful as what the smoked fish is. See, look at those flavours and that colour. Okay, so on a fresh piece of fish, the bones are quite solid. They're quite, you know, they're bones if you take a mouthful of them. In the smoking process, these are actually the bones. So they've become a lot softer. So for any reason, if you get a piece of smoked fish and you hit a bone, it won't prick you, it won't hurt you as much as what it would fresh. But it's still not the best feeling in the world. So just pick them out if you get any of them through taking this off. Okay, so the reason why we left the head on, but we did cut through it, is so that we can break this particular bone just here. Because to flip on the other side, this is even easier. So we just put our knife underneath this bone here. See how that's falling away now? Is because what we're attempting to do is actually take this bit off. And if you run your finger and your knife all the way underneath this will come off really easily. See how we did that? Now you just make a cut. See there? That fell away from when we cut through. And you just bring all of this up. And see now that there's a whole piece with all the bones, so you won't have too much trouble trying to pick out the bones. Pop that on your sliding plate. If you're using a spatula, what you can do is just literally flip this over and actually peel it on the other side. But what I like to do with my hands is just get it, because now these are solid pieces of fillet. See how that falls away? See, there's a whole fillet there. And there's another whole piece of fillet. Now as you get closer to the head, you will find a few bones haven't really come away from it so easily, but you just pick out the little bits of bone on either side of this head. And you're done. Serve with a squeeze of lemon or lime, your favourite dipping sauce, and it's ready to be eaten right now.